Hi, it's Janet from janethiltz.com. Sometimes you just don't know, right? You don't know what's wrong, or you don't know what your decision is. You don't know what the problem is, or even when you're tapping, you don't know what the issue is. So you don't know where to begin. And what I want to say to you today is there is a part of you that knows. You do know. It's just that there are some blocks in your way to being able to access that information that's inside you. And one powerful block to that can be the willingness to know. So today I want you to tap along with me. Even if you've never tapped before, it's a really simple process. But to use EFT tapping to help you get the willingness to know so that you're not stuck anymore. You're not paralyzed. You're not lost in the fog. So first, what I want you to do is grab a pen and paper, just a small piece of paper, anything will work, and some water, and get ready to tap along with me. Okay, ready? First, just take a minute to check inside to see how strong is your belief that you don't know. Whatever this topic is, that you don't know the answer. How strong is that belief on a scale of 1 to 10? Where 10 is you are so positive that you don't know, you don't even know why you're wasting your time watching this, okay? And a 1 is just a tiny bit of belief that you don't know. And now write that number down, whatever pops into your head. If you haven't done this before, it's hard to come up with a number. Just say to yourself, I don't know what the number is, but if I had to guess, I would say it was a, and whatever that is, write it down, put a circle around it. And now we're going to start tapping. The first thing we're going to do is let go of some of the subconscious reluctance to let go of the blocks to knowing, okay? So even if the statement doesn't sound true, you're not going to make it worse by tapping along with me. And because we're tapping on subconscious things, it may seem to your conscious mind that this doesn't apply to me. But just tap along anyway. No harm done, and it might help you release some of this subconscious reluctance, okay? So first we're going to tap on the karate chop point here on the side of the hand. You could do both hands at the same time by just crossing them like this, and just repeat after me. Even though a part of me is not sure I should let go, to these blocks to knowing, because I'm not sure if it's safe to let go of them. Maybe I'm better off not knowing. So I don't know if I want to let go of these blocks. I don't know if I want to let go of this reluctance to know. But even if I don't let go of the blocks, I want to love and accept myself anyway. Because I'm doing the best I can. The same way I always do. Even though a part of me is not sure I should let go of these blocks to knowing, Because if I know I might have to do something, then I won't know what to do. So I'm not sure if I want to let go of these blocks. But even if I don't let go of them, I want to accept myself. And I want to accept my feelings. Even though a part of me is not sure I should let go of these blocks. Because I shouldn't even have them. I should know by now. I've been thinking about this for a long time. I'm an intuitive person. I have a lot of knowledge. So I should already know this. And if I don't know, it's my own fault. So maybe I don't deserve to let go of these blocks. But even if I don't let go of them, I want to love and accept myself anyway. Because I'm doing the best I know how. The same way I have done all along. Good. Now rub it on the sore spot on your chest. This is just like, if you're in the U.S., like pledging allegiance to the flag, okay? Your hand over your heart. Just poke around a little bit with your fingertips. You're going to find a place that's a little more sensitive than the area around it. That's why they call it the sore spot. And we're just going to rub this spot in a circular motion, just like this. And now repeat after me. Even though I have some blocks to knowing, I want to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I have things standing in the way of me knowing the answer, I want to love and accept myself. Even though I have some obstacles to knowing the answer, I want to accept myself. And I want to accept my feelings. And tapping on your eyebrows now, right here on the bone, just repeat after me. All these blocks to knowing. Outside the eye, right on the bone. All these obstacles to having the answer. Tap under the eye, on the bone. All the fears connected to it. Under the nose. Feeling stuck about it. And the chin right in the crease. Feeling ashamed and embarrassed for not knowing. Right under the collarbone. All the anxiety it's causing me. And under the arm, all the ways I blame myself for it. The liver, right at the edge of the rib cage. Any ways I'm blaming other people. All the frustration about it. and the inside of the wrist. Any regrets connected to it. Any guilt for not knowing. And the top of the head. All these blocks to not knowing the answer. I don't know why I don't know. Good. Stop tapping now. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. Shake out your hands. Have a stretch. And now drink some of that water. And let's take a minute to check in before we do some more tapping. First, I want you to notice any physical changes or sensations going on. It could be warmth or tingling or discomfort, pain, nausea. It could be relaxation. Just notice if your body is showing a response in any kind of way, or if it's not. They're all normal. And then notice if there's any thought or memory, insight that popped in that's still hanging around. If you want to make a note of that, good. If not, it's okay. Just notice. Now take a look at that number of the charge, the intensity of the belief that you don't know. Look at that number that you wrote down. And now close your eyes, go inside and ask yourself, if the intensity of that belief was a 9, now it's a... And notice what number comes to mind. Cross the old number out, write the new number down, and just notice if it went up or down or stayed the same. And now we're going to do more tapping. So rubbing on that sore spot on your chest again. Just rubbing in a circular motion. Repeat after me. Even though a part of me is still holding on to some obstacles to knowing, there's another part of me that's starting to shift. And I want to love and respect both parts of me. The cautious part that's holding on. And the wise and powerful part that's starting to shift. So even though I still have some old beliefs and feelings that I don't know, I want to love and accept myself anyway. That's not all there is to me. Even though I still have some blocks to knowing, I want to love and accept myself. And tapping on your eyebrows now. You can do both sides at the same time if you want. These remaining blocks to knowing. Outside the eyes. The leftover obstacles to knowing. Under the eyes. The rest of the fears connected to knowing. Under the nose. The remaining powerlessness to know. In the chin. Any leftover shame or embarrassment about it. under the collarbone. The rest of the anxiety connected to not knowing. Under the arm. Any ways I'm still blaming myself for it. And the liver at the bottom of the rib cage. The rest of the frustration about it. Any way I'm blaming other people or circumstances. Inside of the wrist. Any remaining regrets about it. And the top of the head. These leftover obstacles to knowing. Back to the eyebrow. I've been trying to figure this out for a while. Outside the eyes. It's so frustrating, I just want to forget about it. Under the eyes. I just don't know. Under the nose. I just don't know what the answer is. And the chin. I've been asking other people. And the collarbone. I've been doing all the research. Under the arm. And I just can't come up with an answer. And the liver. It's so frustrating. Inside of the wrist. I feel lost about it. I don't know what to do. Top of the head. Maybe I'm just an indecisive person. Back to the eyebrow. But I feel foggy about it. Outside the eyes. Other things are crystal clear to me. Under the eyes. But this answer is a mystery. Under the nose. I have no idea what the answer is. And the chin. And maybe I'm just kidding myself to think I'll ever know. The collarbone. But what if there really is a part of me that does know? Under the arms. I know that's happened to me before. And the liver. I get these quiet answers inside. And the wrist. It's like the curtain is pulled back and there it is. Top of the head. What if that could happen this time? Back to the eyebrow. Well, if that could happen, I think it already would have. Outside the eye. Maybe that happens for other people, but I don't think it's happening for me. Under the eye. I wonder if there's something wrong with me. Under the nose. Something that's keeping me from knowing. And the chin. But what if there's something right with me? Collarbone. What if there's a way for me to peek behind the curtain? Under the arm. What if I could get access to that part of me? In the liver. The part of me that's willing to know. Gently on the wrist. I want to open myself up to that possibility. Top of the head. I want to consider the option to be willing to know. Okay, good. Stop tapping now. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths again. Shake your hands out. Have a stretch. And check in with yourself again, noticing any physical sensations or changes in sensations. Noticing any insights, thoughts, or memories that have popped up and are still hanging around. And now look at that last number that you wrote down about how strong the belief is that you don't know. Go inside. Ask yourself, if that last intensity of the belief that I don't know was a 4, what is it now? And cross out the old number, write down the new number. Notice if it went up, if it went down, if it stayed the same. Our objective is to get that number down to a 0. So you're not doing anything wrong if after a tapping round that number went up some, because sometimes we're bringing all the emotions to the surface. So sometimes you'll feel them more intensely after you start tapping. So just know you're not doing anything wrong. Sometimes the same thing can happen when you check in and you get the same number. Sometimes it's because the tapping elevated the intensity because you brought all this stuff to the surface, and then it dropped it down some, but you ended up with the same number. It's all okay. And if the number is dropping, that's great. Let's move on to do one more round of tapping. That's tapping in the affirmative of where you want to go. Okay? So rub it on the sore spot again, gently massaging it. Just repeat after me, even though a small part of me is still holding on to some of the blocks to knowing. There's a powerful part of me that's letting them go. And I appreciate myself for that. So even though I still have a few obstacles to knowing, I've shifted a lot of them. And I want to love and respect both parts of me. The cautious part that's still holding on, and the powerful part that's letting go. Even though I still have some obstacles to knowing, I want to love and accept myself anyway. And tapping on your eyebrows now. These last obstacles to knowing. Outside the eye, what if I could let them go now? Under the eye, maybe it could be really easy. Under the nose, what if I could know the answer so clearly? And the chin, I'm feeling calm. So I can hear the answer. Under the collarbone, I feel calm because I know I don't have to take any action. I just want to know the answer. Under the arm, I give myself permission now to know the answer. And the liver, I'm willing to know. Gently on the wrist. I'm willing to know because I can handle it. Top of the head. I have so many resources. Back to the eyebrow. I have inner resources and outer resources. Outside the eyes. To help me when I know. Under the eyes. I'm willing to take responsibility for knowing. Under the nose. I give myself permission to trust my intuition. And the chin. I'm willing to hear that inner voice. And the collarbone. I'm willing to know the answer. Under the arms. I'm willing to let the fog lift. And the liver. I'm willing to experience clarity. Gently on the wrist. It feels good to know and to honor my highest self. My highest self that always has the answer. Top of the head. I appreciate myself and my courage to be willing to know. And that feels so good. Ah, good. Stop tapping now. Take those deep cleansing breaths again. Shake your hands out, have a stretch, drink some water. Because tapping, for some reason, it uses up the water in your system. And the more hydrated you stay, the more effective your tapping is going to be. I don't know why. It's the same with acupuncture, with deep massage. Anyway, drink up. And now we're going to check in one more time on that belief that we started out with. The belief that you just don't know. Look at the last number that you wrote down. Say if If the last intensity of that belief was a 2, what is it now? Or whatever the number was. And then write the new number down. If you're not yet at a 0, then back the video up and tap again. If it's a 3 or lower, tap again with this last round that we did that's more affirmative. If it's still higher, go back to the beginning and tap along again. Each time you tap is going to increase the likelihood that you're going to let go of these inner blocks. So there you have it. There's a tool for you when you're feeling like you just don't know, because you do. There's a part of you that does know. So the trick to it all is getting calm enough to be able to listen or to watch, to feel, however you sense that inner knowing. That's part of it. And the second is having the willingness to know. And that's what you can use this tapping to help you with. So I'll see you again soon. And I just want to encourage you to keep on tapping.